Easton Shelton. Jang delivers. He gets the call on an inside edge changeup, 0-1. In the outfield from left to right, it's A.J. Soldra, Jaron Elkins, and Myro Martinez with Jingshen Ko, the designated hitter. Jang offers the 0-1. Marquez flies it foul over the first base seats. Quickly, Jang pulls ahead 0-2. Like many of the players on this Tower Buzzers team, Jang himself was a Quake last year and was a part of their playoff squad. Here's his 0-2 to Marquez. He chases the outside changeup, strike 3. With 2 runs of support early on, Jang needs just 3 pitches to brush Marquez aside. Nobody on, 1 out for Kendry Maduro. 2-0 Ontario in the bottom of the first, looking to avenge their shutout loss from a night ago. Jang looks in for Arroz's sign. He deals. Slider finds the outside edge, 0-1. And in 2026, Jang occupies a similar role in single A than he did last year, where he was a starter for the Quakes. The righty's back to work, the 0-1. Ground ball to short. Morales picks it up, throw to first in time. So far, Jang has delivered 5 strikes, and he's picked up 2 quick outs. Here comes Kevin Castillo to try and extend this bottom of the first. 2-0 Ontario. They've got the early offense to back up the starter so far. The righty kicks and deals. Castillo can't catch up to the 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1. He made 13 starts for the Quakes last year and had a good amount of success. 0-2 with a 4.65 ERA through 40 2/3 innings spanning 13 starts. His 0-1. In the dirt with the curveball, Castillo doesn't bite, 1-1. Well, the Dodgers want to see a little more out of him at this level before moving him up to High A Great Lakes as a 22-year-old. His 1-1 to Castillo. Off the plate away. Castillo moves ahead in the count, 2-1. Well, at least if he's at this level, he gets to be a part of history, a member of the inaugural Tower Buzzers squad. Jang covers his face with the glove. The 2-1 hole. Inside with the cutter, 3-1. If Castillo can work his way aboard, he would extend the inning for the cleanup man, Gabriel Davalillo. Jang shakes Arroz off. Now he has a pitch he likes. He offers the 3-1. Right down Broadway, Castillo takes a look at strike 2. After falling behind in the count, Jang is a pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning that would keep the momentum squarely in the first base dugout early on. His payoff pitch. Castillo pops it up in foul ground off to the left side. The wind blows it back to the left side of the infield, and Harlan makes the catch. Hyun-Suk Jang is off to a quick start at Merton. A look back at Harlan, the 0-2 to Ko. He flails it behind second base. Castillo charges in, he can't make the play. Harlan had to wait for that ball to drop. He remains at third, and the Tower Buzzers have him on the corners.
Your Rancho Cucamonga Quakes are back, and you're listening to Quakes Baseball on the Quakes Radio Network.
Gabriel Davalillo stands in for the Quakes to open the bottom of the second. Hyun-Suk Jang's pitch. Curveball misses inside to the designated hitter, 1-0. Lucas Ramirez and Johnny McGill to follow, with the Quakes trailing the Tower Buzzers 2-0. Jang holds the glove over his face. The 1-0 on the way. Davalillo looks at a fastball high and wide, 2-0. Davalillo didn't come up with a hit yesterday, but he certainly played his part in Rancho Cucamonga's 5-run fifth that broke the game open en route to a 6-0 victory. Jang's 2-0 home. Davalillo lifts it high in the air, deep down the left field line. Soldier gives chase into the corner. This ball lands at the top of the batting cage, foul. Davalillo just got underneath an off-speed pitch, and it just goes down in the books as a long strike for Jang. Davalillo himself worked a bases-loaded walk, the second consecutive in that inning. The 2-1 from Jang. Foul tip to the backstop. Jang evens the count 2 apiece. That was the straw that broke the camel's back and undid Brady Smith's outstanding work as Ontario's starter, ultimately saddling him with the loss, although he had no part to play in that inning. The break-even delivery. Davalillo looks at a curveball high, ball 3. Jang certainly thought that was strike 3. He began to K-strut before home plate umpire Preston Hughes directed him back to the top of the hill. The second consecutive Quake batter sees a full count against the Ontario starter. Jang has his sign, the payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. Davalillo continues to show off a keen eye at the plate. He draws the walk to open the bottom of the second. That forces Jang into the stretch for the first time tonight against Lucas Ramirez. Two 0 Ontario. 1 on, nobody out in the bottom of the second inning at Morongo Field. Jang deals. Slider misses low and in, ball 1. Jang himself has a very slow delivery from the windup, kind of reminiscent of Dodgers ace Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Harlan's in at third. Jang waits the 1-0. Ramirez chases the low changeup, 1 ball, 1 strike. He has that high leg kick, holds it up in the air for a little bit before delivering home. But now with a runner on first, he has to speed up his mechanics quite a bit. 1-1. Ramirez fouls it to the protective netting behind home plate, 1-2. Jang, after losing Davalillo, has a chance to rebound and strike out Ramirez. Shelton holds the base runner on. Jang's 1-2. Ramirez chases the high fastball, strike 3. Jang picks up the strikeout. Ramirez is down as the first out of the inning. Davalillo remains at first for the left fielder, Johnny McGill. The corners continue to play in on the Ontario infield expecting bunt. Jang continues to keep close tabs on Davalillo. He deals to McGill. In the dirt with the fastball at 94, 1-0. The Tower Buzzers put up 2 in the top of the first to take the early lead. But the middle of the order can answer back, or I guess on Star Wars night, strike back in the bottom of the second. Throw over to first. Davalillo dives in, no tag from Shelton. I was talking with the production staff just a couple of booths over. I promised them a couple of Star Wars lines tonight, and we'll get the ball rolling with that one. The 1-0. Inside, that gets away from Aros. Davalillo's on the move for second. He's in there without a throw. That pitch bore in on McGill, and Aros just didn't glove it cleanly. We'll see if that's ruled a wild pitch or a pass ball, but either way, the Quakes have a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight, and McGill can cut their early deficit in half with anything to the outfield. The Tower Buzzers play no doubles out there. 2-0. High and outside with the breaking ball. McGill moves ahead 3-0. First base is open for Ontario to play with. But we'll see what Jang's plan of action is on the mound. He peers back at Davalillo, the 3-0. McGill takes at the letters, strike 1. He thought he had the walk. He was about to set his bat down and head over to first, but he's still in the driver's seat in the AB, up 3-1. Aros gives the low target the 3-1. Inside to McGill, ball 4. Turns out he just had to wait one more pitch. Johnny McGill takes his base. The Quakes draw their second walk of the inning. And that brings in Marlon Quintero with an RBI chance. Davalillo's at second, McGill at first, 1 out in the bottom of the second with the Tower Buzzers leading the Quakes 2-0. Jang finds himself in his first jam tonight. Here's his delivery. Quintero hits a number to second. Vargas picks it up. Throw to second is bobbled. They'll call McGill out. Vargas lost the handle on the transfer, and it goes in the books as a fielder's choice. Well, hold on. Looks like they just called McGill safe. Ontario manager John Shoemaker is out to argue. Initially, base umpire Brandon Smith raised his right arm as to say out, but he stopped himself and elected to call McGill safe instead. Now the Tower Buzzers skipper wants an explanation. At least from my view in the booth, it looked like Vargas lost the ball on the transfer trying to turn 2, but instead, or rather Morales, my apologies. So they're going to call an E6. The call on the field stands. The Quakes have the bases loaded with just 1 out for Slate Alford. He certainly has the thump to either tie the game with 1 swing or put the Quakes on top. The corner infielders play in for Ontario. Jang goes back to the windup, the pitch. Alford fouls it back behind home plate, 0-1. After the Tower Buzzers put up 2 in the top of the first, the Quakes have the pieces in place for a rally in the bottom of the second. 0-1 to the former Georgia Bulldog. Jang eyes Davalillo at third. He comes home with the 0-1. Alford checks his swing on a bouncing breaker. Appeal to the base umpire. Brandon Smith says no swing. There are plenty of fans decked out in Dodger blue tonight. They all groaned at Smith's decision, but that one looked pretty cut and dry. 1 ball, 1 strike on Alford. He has a couple of doubles in this series. If he can conjure up another, the Quakes could take the lead. Jang sets the 1-1. Alford takes a dirt ball, and Aros gloves it on a hop. Good instincts from the catcher to prevent the wild pitch. Alford's ahead in the count, though, 2-1. In the meantime, Jang's pitch count continues to rise. He only needed 11 tosses to get through the bottom of the first. This will be his 20th in the second. Jang takes a deep breath as he sets up shop on the rubber. The 2-1 to Alford. He takes something off it and gets Alford to swing over top. 2-2. A double play would get the Tower Buzzers out of the inning, but you have to think in a 2-strike count. Jang has his sights set on a K. Aros relays the shine to him. The righties break even toss. Alford looks at a curveball low and away, ball 3. Jang has no margin for error. Gabriel Davalillo stands at third. Johnny McGill at second. Marlon Quintero at first. 1 more ball would get the Quakes on the board. Jang comes ready. Glove at the chest, the 3-2. Alford rolls it to third. Harlan can't get a glove to it. It's into left field, base hit. Davalillo scores. In comes McGill. The throw to the plate is cut off. Slate Alford comes up with a big swing early on. His base knock plates a pair, and we're even at 2. The Evil Empire landed the first swing. The Rebels have just shown off their counterpunch. And still, they've got a shot for even more damage in the bottom of the second. Quintero's at second, Alford at first, 1 away. Out comes co-pitching coach Luis Vasquez to talk things over with his starter. The ruling just came in. They gave Alford a single rather than an E5. I'd say that's the right call. He drives in a pair to level the score at 2 apiece. And on one swing, he gets the Quakes both into the run and hit columns. After surrendering the pair in the top of the first, the Quakes have the go-ahead runner at second base in the bottom of the second for Athaniel Duarte to potentially drive in. Vargas holds the lead runner, Quintero. Jang comes home. Foul tip off of his front foot. 0-1. Well, I guess on Star Wars night, that was not the easy hop Harlan was looking for at third. Duarte back in the lineup tonight after featuring in the 2-1 win on Thursday. And he can make an immediate impact. The 0-1. Front door curveball drops too low, 1-1. He ended up scoring the winning run in that game, touching home on Myro Martinez's 2-out throwing error in the bottom of the 6th. That followed up Kendry Maduro's solo shot to lead off the inning and also open the scoring. Jang looks back at Quintero, the 1-1. Duarte fists it foul above the first base dugout, 1-2. Jang continues to labor in this bottom of the second. Perhaps he'll feel hard done by the call at second that didn't go his way, but he has to put that out of the back of his mind if he wants to dig himself out of this hole. The righty deals. Duarte rolls it foul through the legs of the first base coach, Deoner Navarro. Duarte nutmegged him over there, but the way Navarro reacted, that looked to be intentional. Still a ball and 2 strikes on the final batter in the order of the Rebels. Jang's next 1-2. Duarte misses the low changeup, strike 3. Jang secures his second strikeout of the inning. Gave him 3 on the night. And it's up to Angelo Marquez to fire the Quakes in front. 2-2 between the Quakes and the Tower Buzzers in the bottom of the second. Quintero's over at second base. Alford at first with 2 away. 2 already home. Jang's delivery. Backdoor curveball finds its spot. 0-1. There aren't many guys you'd want up in this situation more than Marquez. He's emerged as one of this team's biggest offensive threats. The 0-1. Marquez is late on the fastball. Jang blows it by his bat at 93 miles an hour, 0-2. Coming into play tonight, he's the team leader in batting average, home runs, RBI, doubles, and he's tied with 3 others for the top spot in hits. Ahead of the 0-2, Jang steps off. He wants to get on the same page with his catcher, Aros. Both base runners are unchecked at their respective bags. The 0-2. Marquez waves and misses at the outside, off speed. 2-2 the score between the Tower Buzzers and the Quakes in the top of the third inning. Ryan Zimmerman with you alongside the president and CEO of San Antonio Regional Hospital, John Chapman. Ko gets a hold of this one to deep right center. This one's carrying out of here. Jing-Shen Ko sends one into the trees, and the Tower Buzzers are back on top 3-2. Well, don't let that take away from everything San Antonio Regional Hospital has done for the area. Specifically, what will the Center of Aging do for our 65-plus community?
Our Center of Aging is
Cast on the Quakes Radio Network.
You just heard from John Chapman, the president and CEO of San Antonio Regional Hospital on Star Wars night. Bottom of the third, Tower Buzzers on top 3-2. The first pitch from Hyunsuk Jang to Kendry Maduro results in a foul ball, 0-1. Jing-Shen Ko solo homer in the top of the third put Ontario back in front to supplement their two-run second. 3-2 with still plenty of baseball to play at Morongo Field. Jang winds and fires. Inside with the slider, 1-1. Well, Maduro just made an incredible sliding stop at short to deny Jaron Elkins a base hit. And immediately after making the web gem, he grabs a bat and leads off the inning. Always feels like that's how it goes. Jang's 1-1. Ground ball up the middle. It hits off Jang. Deflects to Shelton. Flip to the bag, not in time. Maduro beats out an infield single. He gets it done in the hole, and he does it on the base paths, too. Maduro squares Jang up, and he flashed the speed to win the race to first. And Jang may be shaken up. Out comes head athletic trainer Zoe Tammen to take a look at the Ontario starter. Hopefully Jang is okay. Kind of just went on adrenaline covering the bag on the hard line ground ball. Home plate umpire Preston Hughes is in as well. At least for the moment, it looks like Jang is good to continue, but he'll get to throw a few warm-up pitches to confirm that fact. After Jing-Shen Ko's solo home run put the Tower Buzzers back on top in the top of the third inning, the Quakes immediately have the tying run on base ahead of the heart of the order. Kevin Castillo waits his turn to bat. And after a few warm-up pitches, Jang gives the signal to Tammen that he's okay to continue. And it's good to see him fight out there and avoid a serious injury. People talk about third base being the hot corner, and for good reason, but comebackers definitely get on you quick on the mound. In steps Kevin Castillo with nobody out. From the stretch, Jang throws a slider around the back foot, 1-0. 3-2, Ontario has the lead, but the Quakes have the leadoff man aboard to start the bottom of the third. Harlan remains in on the grass at third base. He's expecting a bunt. There goes Maduro. The 1-0 is fouled off behind home plate. And Maduro will have to go back to first, 1-1. Jang's pitch count has elevated as of recently. He needed over 25 to get through the second, and he's just eclipsed 45 to open the at-bat against Castillo. Here's his 1-1. Castillo fights it off the edge of the bat, foul, 1-2. Jang worked his way out of further damage in the bottom of the second. Back-to-back strikeouts stranded the go-ahead run on second base, and he'll need to walk the tightrope potentially once again in the bottom of the third. Before the 1-2, a throw over to first. Maduro barely gets in ahead of the Shelton tag. Shelton continues to hold the base runner over there as Castillo gets back into his stance. The 1-2. Outside with the breaking ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Aros held his pose about a half second longer than he normally does, trying to coax the cone. 2-2 on the 3-hole hitter. Morales shades towards second, the 2-2 in the dirt, ball 3. Aros pops out of his crouch to look Maduro back to first. The Korean right-hander is a pitch away from succumbing to the same fate as the second, letting the first two men on without the ball leaving the infield. Before the payoff, another pickoff throw, and Maduro is caught off the bag. First base coach Deanna Navarro doesn't like the call. He shakes his head at it, but the quick pickoff move eliminates the leadoff infield single. Jang can return to the windup, still facing a full count against Castillo. The righty sets up in the middle of the rubber. A high leg kick ahead of the 3-2. On the inside edge, strike three. Castillo backed away from it initially, but Jang just clips the zone. And despite the leadoff single, he's an out away from a 1-2-3 third. Gabriel Davalillo can change that, though. Jang's delivery. Davalillo offers a half-hearted swing at an outside curveball, 0-1. Jang, at least for the moment, is an out away from making the Jing Shen Ko home run stand up as the Tower Buzzers are back in front, the 0-1. In the dirt with the slide piece, 1-1. 3-2 Ontario, about to finish with inning number 3, perhaps. Goes back to it, his 1-1 to Davalillo. He fouls it off over the first base seats, 1-2. Jang picks up his call from the catcher, Aros. The 1-2. High with the heater at 94. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If Davalillo can do what he did in his last plate appearance and get on base, Lucas Ramirez would be next. The righties break even offering. Davalillo backs away from an inside fastball, and the count goes full. The second consecutive Quakes hitter sees a 3-2 count. That's been a fixture of Jang's outing. He's already dished out 5 of those, and it's run his pitch count up to 55. The 3-2. Davalillo swats it out of play off to the right side. Jang's equipped with a new pearl. His next 3-2 on the way. Low and in, ball 4. Davalillo flips his bat as he maintained contact with the catcher, Aros. His frame not quite good enough to ring him up. Davalillo works his second walk, and the bottom of the third continues for Ramirez. Jang has to return to the stretch to take on the 5-hole hitter. Shelton declines to hold Davalillo. The toss to Ramirez is a fastball right on the low outside corner, 0-1. 3-2 Ontario in the bottom of the third. Once again, the Quakes have the tying run on with 2 down. Davalillo increases his lead over at first, the 0-1. Backdoor benders right on the mark. 0-2. Jang's pitching with a purpose back in the stretch. A shot to get his boys back up to the plate. The 0-2 on the way. Curveball just darts outside. 1-2. At the very least, the Quakes are forcing Jang to really sweat. That last toss was his 60th. Jang rocks and fires. Low and into Ramirez, 2-2. There's no activity in the Ontario bullpen just yet, but you have to feel like that's coming as Jang continues to labor. His 2-2 home. Ramirez whiffs on the changeup, strike three. Hearn to the run column in the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 Ontario. Johnny McGill, Marlon Quintero, and Slate Alford to face the starter who remains on the hill in Hyun-Suk Jang. The right-hander's delivery. McGill spits on a bouncing curveball, 1-0. McGill played a role in Rancho Cucamonga's 2-run second inning that tied the score at the time at 2 runs apiece. Jang has his shine as 1-0. Line shot to second. Vargas makes the diving catch. That ball had some sink to it, but Vargas stays with it the whole way to rob McGill of a leadoff single. The defense lends Jang a helping hand for out number 1. Nobody on, 1 away for Marlon Quintero. Jang fires. Quintero looks at a middle fastball, 0-1. Well, Jang is entering uncharted territory in this start. His 0-1. High and inside with the breaking ball, 1-1. As things stand currently, he's at 67 pitches, and he's quickly closing in on his season high in that regard. His 1-1. Quintero nubs it foul to the protective netting behind home plate, 1-2. His season high did come in his last start when he went 3 2/3 innings against Lake Elsinore. He made 72 tosses in that game. Right now, he's rapidly approaching 70. His 1-2 to Quintero. High chopper to the left side. Harlan gloves it on a bounce. Sidearms to first in time, 2 away. But as the tower buzzers continue to stretch him out, we'll see if he can pick up 5 innings and perhaps qualify for a win on the field he used to call his home. 2 up, 2 down. It's up to Slate Alford to keep the bottom of the fourth alive. Jang winds and offers. It's drilled out to left. Soldier gives chase towards the wall. He reaches up. He can't make the catch. It rolls off the track and into the outfield. Alford around second. He digs for third. He's in there standing up. Slate Alford's 2 for 2 with 2 extra base knocks. A 2-out triple puts the tying run 90 feet away for Othaniel Duarte. He didn't quite hit that ball to a galaxy far, far away. But he'll certainly take it. His first 3-bagger of the year gives the Quakes new life in the inning. Out comes manager John Shoemaker, and he wants to talk things over with home plate umpire Preston Hughes. Something may be wrong with Jang. Out comes head athletic trainer Zoe Tamman to take a look. I guess this is for Soldier, not Jang. I thought initially it might be Jang because of the injury he sustained earlier in the game that he shook off. Tamman just wanted to make sure Soldier was okay out in left field after running right into the fence, but he waves her off. He's good to go. Good to see Soldier's okay. He heads back into his position in front of the LA Chili sign out there as Duarte strides in with a chance to level the score. Jang turns to his windup. Duarte dribbles it in front of the mound. Jang plays it on a hop, blocks Duarte's path to first, and puts the tag down on him to retire the side.
You're listening to the future of Los Angeles Angels baseball on the Quakes Radio Network.
We're halfway home at Morongo Field on Star Wars night. Ontario's on top 5-2, headed to the bottom of the fifth. The top of the order gets their third look at Hyun-Suk Jang. His first pitch to Angelo Marquez. He foul tips a changeup low and away, 0-1. Kendry Maduro and Kevin Castillo will also get a chance to face him perhaps, but there is a right-hander warming up in the Ontario bullpen. Base umpire Brandon Smith halts play. A baseball escaped it down the right field line as Seamus Barrett gets loose. Marquez gets back into his stance. Jang kicks and delivers. Marquez pops it sky high on the right side of the infield. Vargas and Shelton in the area. The first baseman takes charge and makes the catch. Jang has had an answer for Marquez at the top of the order. He falls to 0 for 3. No one on, one down for Kendry Maduro. With that, Jang's appearance closes in on his longest by innings pitched. The righty kicks and fires. Maduro ropes it into left center field. That's down for a base hit. Big turnaround first. He throws on the brakes and retreats to the bag after his second knock. Maduro squared Jang up pretty good. He improves to 2 for 3. 1 on, 1 out for Kevin Castillo, and all eyes are on the top step of Ontario's dugout. This is already Jang's longest outing by pitches. He just crossed that on Maduro's single. He's now at 73. Shelton holds the base runner at first. Time called before the first try to Castillo. Jang locks eyes with his catcher Aros from the stretch. Fastball low and outside to him, 1-0. The tying run stands in the on-deck circle for the Quakes. That, the big slugger Gabriel Davalillo. Before the 1-0, Aros heads out to the mound to discuss the game plan with Jang. Outside of a rough second inning, he's been very good. Through 4 1/3 innings, he's allowed just 4 hits, leading to 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for the native of Changwon, South Korea. Looking through the crowd, so many are decked out in Dodger blue and white. And they offer their encouragement to Jang as he resets on the third base side of the rubber. Harlan plays even with the baseline at third. Jang looks over at Maduro before picking his pitch. His 1-0. Castillo chases out of the zone, 1-1. It's kind of just been the case throughout the series. Dodger fans tend to travel well, and Rancho Cucamonga is certainly within driving distance. Jang's 1-1. Right at the knees, he pulls ahead of Castillo, 1-2. And whenever they've done something tonight, they have roared. It's kind of trippy for that to happen in a road game. It certainly feels like we're playing it back at ONT Field at times. They've just overpowered the Quakes fans in attendance. Jang's 1-2. Castillo floats it into left center field. Elkins gives chase. He can't get there. Base hit. Maduro stops at second. Make it back-to-back singles for the Quakes. Kevin Castillo passes the baton to the tying run coming up to bat in Gabriel Davalillo. Like Jing Shen Ko, Davalillo has the pop to tie the score. He's got a perfect opportunity to send the Quakes fans into rapture at Morongo Field on this Star Wars night. Jang stays in the game. He's in the stretch. Davalillo blasts this high in the air, deep to left. Soldier races to the corner at the wall. He can't make the catch. It's a foul ball. That ball didn't quite have home run distance. In fact, it stayed within the playing parameters at Morongo Field. Soldier just overran it. 0-1 on Davalillo. Out comes Aros to talk to Jang after that long fly ball. The corner infielders join the conversation as well. Now Vargas and Morales complete the party. Jang's pitch count is quickly approaching 80. Seamus Barrett continues to throw warm-up pitches in the Ontario bullpen, but for the moment, this is Jang's inning to finish, and perhaps he's a double play ball away from finishing his fifth. Kendry Maduro's at second, Kevin Castillo at first with one out in the bottom of the fifth as the Quakes trail the Tower Buzzers 5-2. The meeting on the mound concludes. Both runners take their leads at their stations. Jang looks back at Maduro. Now a throw over. It gets away from Vargas and leaks into left center field. Maduro spins around to find the baseball. He remains at second. He just clattered into Vargas. Both had the right to be in the area. Vargas was just reaching back for the baseball. An errant pickoff throw doesn't come back to haunt Jang for the moment. Still 0-1 to Davalillo as Jang searches for a way out of trouble in the bottom of the fifth. His 0-1 on the way. He has the outside edge on his curveball. A high looper gets the call, 0-2. Davalillo to this point without an official at bat. He's walked twice. We'll see if he can pull off another. Jang's 0-2. Davalillo watches one in the dirt. Aros gloves it in front of home plate and holds both base runners. He's been in this position before, Davalillo. He was behind 0-2 on Jang in his first plate appearance, ended up drawing a walk. He ended up scoring on Slate Alford's two-run single. Jang back to the bump. Another pickoff to second. Maduro gets a hand back in just in time. He was so close to being caught off the bag for his second pickoff tonight. But instead, he's safe. Jang is out of disengagements, and we'll see how the Quakes react on the base paths. Maduro's got a big lead at second. The 1-2. Davalillo fouls it off just to the left of the first base dugout. Maduro himself has some speed to burn. Castillo, the trail runner, is fleet of foot as well. The Quakes could easily attempt a double steal to stay out of a potential inning-ending double play. Another 1-2. Low and outside to Davalillo. Good take, evens things up 2-2. This has been Davalillo's calling card as of late. The plate discipline has been on full display recently. He drew 9 walks in his 10-game on-base streak that came to an end on the 7th. That included a 3-walk day. The 2-2. In the dirt, ball 3, Davalillo didn't flinch. Well, he's a pitch away from matching that effort. Back in the count from behind 0-2 to work it full. Jang's pitch count hovers around 85. It looks like Barrett is ready in the right field bullpen. Jang's payoff toss. Low to Davalillo, ball 4. Hyun-Suk Jang has now walked him for the 3rd time. And the bases load, still just 1 out for Lucas Ramirez. Out comes manager John Shoemaker. This will be it for Hyun-Suk Jang. His night finishes 2 outs shy of qualifying for a win, but he is definitely in play for a no decision. That's as much as it can be. He's responsible for all 3 base runners with the Tower Buzzers up 5-2 in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out for Lucas Ramirez, looking to do some damage and perhaps tie the score when we come back.